called for is of the challenging we as a member of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria and a key player in the manufacturing sector. Uh, the commercial bank in Nigeria and other government agencies. Yeah. So why are we here? We are here to voice out our pain. We are here to voice out our concern. We are here to voice out the key observations that we see happening around us. As you will be aware, the contribution of manufacturing sector to the GDP, according to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, as third quarter of 2023, fourth quarter of 2023, at 8.68%. This rate is for us as a player in the industry is not acceptable because we know that manufacturing sector contribution to the growth of the nation is one that cannot be bypassed. And that is evident in what we are having currently in terms of the unemployment rate in Nigeria, in terms of the poverty rate. Now, the unemployment rate as a fourth quarter of 2023 stood at 8.8%. And at 5%, that's for the unemployment, while the poverty stood at 13.8%. These are indications that all is not well. And the reason why we're having all of these high and negative indices is because the key fiber that is needed in the economy to drive the growth, to drive employment, and to boost that has not been considered or given a top priority by the regulators and by the government of the day. And that is why we are here to voice out our own pain. And before it's too late, before we have to shut down our operation and lay off well over 2,500 employees of the company, both direct and indirectly, and which is still going to cause a lot of problems to the economy. And that is the reason why we call this conference to let the whole world and the government know that a lot still needs to be done in terms of intervention, in terms of incentives to the manufacturing sector. The last report that the Manufacturer Association of Nigeria shone out as at the end of the first quarter showed that well over 757 companies are shut down in Nigeria between January 2023 and December 2023. This figure is totally not one that should be taken lightly for any government that wants the growth and that wants people to be gainfully employed in the country. Now, that is the number that we could actually see. There are millions of SMEs that could no longer do business again in Nigeria today because of high cost of operation, because of high energy costs, because of so many things. Even with the removal of subsidy and the unification of the FX regime that the government of the day brought in, we all will testify to the how excruciating the pains, how terrible the hunger in the land is all about. So, and as a player, we felt it or deemed it fit to call this conference to let everybody know that we need to sit up as a nation, and we need to sit up as a government, and we need to sit up as regulators as it relates to the support to the key sector of the economy, which we call the real sector, and that is the manufacturing sector. So on this note, I would hand over the mic to the GM, Mr. Ono Opasi, to shed more light about who we are, what we do, and what are our expectations as far as development growth of this industry and the nation is concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shea. And to you, our dear friends, ladies and gentlemen of the press, good morning. We are glad to host you today in our garden. We are Necit Nig Limited. Necit Nig Limited is an indigenous player, the downstream sector of the Nigerian economy. We are duly registered with Corporate Affairs Commission by way of our incorporation that dates back to 1999, precisely 15 September. As a duly registered company operating in Nigeria, we deal on petroleum products, petrochemical products, hair care products, and lubricant products. Back then in 1999, after our incorporation, Necit Nigeria Limited was just a trading outfit with a lean workforce measuring on sourcing of products locally from notable brands by way of dealership and representation. But as event went by, a desire to create more employment opportunities for the teeming population in Nigeria became unbearable and unsurmountable to the management. We decided to go into floating our own brand. Then we had no learning plan. We saw the services of companies as at that time that had learning plans that were operational, approved by government. We had our then as we continued in 2014, Necit Nigeria Limited was able to build its learning plan, the assistance of bank. As of today, Necit Nigeria Limited can boast of over 2,000 personnel in its workforce through both direct and indirect employment. As it is, the going has not been easy, and there are multitude of problems facing manufacturing companies, of which we are one. It's no longer easy doing business in Nigeria as far as manufacturing is concerned. And these challenges for which we are gathered together to air and to cry out loud are as follows. Number one, multiple regulation by regulatory agencies. Two, tax-related issues that are impacting negatively production and ease of doing business. Three, double-digit lending by Nigerian banks and unfriendly treatment by the same Nigerian banks asking us to pay for what we did not owe. Again, the high duties of imported raw materials which we use for our production has had negative implication on the cost of our product, which also has a negative multiplier effect on our profitability and keeping workforce. As it is, the ease of doing business preached by previous government is no longer easy. We are crying out loud. And at this point, the MD, CEO of the company, in the person of Dr. Emmanuel Hagwad, will be shedding more light on what we're passing through with the Nigerian bank.
Thank you, good brother. It's an honor. I thought through that doctor from situation in Nigeria does not deserve any title for anybody as of today, as far as there is hunger in the land. Good morning, my friend, gentlemen of press. My names are Ihaugwaze Emmanuel. As I have rightly said, there is no need to put title for anybody as the situation is biting and all of us. But we believe that God will see us through. Necit Nigeria Limited is an indigenous manufacturing company in Nigeria and a member of MAN, Manufacturer Association of Nigeria. As you have heard from the CFO and then also to the general manager. Actually, the journey started 2014, the case may be. Those days, the government sensitized all the traders and everybody to see if we can be the shiners of Africa. So those of us that are traders migrated and we went into industry. It was fine because the bank at that time, not good because of what happened today, the bank at that time are still African bank, people that has the mind of growth of Africa. And indeed, they assisted us, the bank did at that time. And then after they changed the government,